heard shouting from across the chasm. It sounded like Varro. He needs help. I just need a moment.
All right. Rest here, but not for too long. The crystal's almost in reach. Let's go help Varro.
Stay back, you beasts!
Hold on, Varro! We're on our way! Aim for the abdomen!
All of them? Good.
Jones' bumpy arse. What?
I took a real beating during the fall. Leg broke like a dry twig. Want some advice? Don't get old. Hopefully, Kirstalev can patch it up well enough for me to walk. In the meantime, you should be looking for a way out of here. And hey, thanks.
Famia's crystal is through the next door. Hop down, yes? This one will follow. Exhilarating, yes? This one thinks the door is unlocked now. Give it a push.
You see? You aren't the only one who can find side passages.
Note this one's very genuine surprise.
The Kajinjat crystal! At last!
Careful, Famia. We have had enough falling and screaming for one day.
Sound advice. It should just be a matter of wedging the pressure plate and... there. Finally, we... What was that? Mara's mercy! Run!
Distracted, Walker. Zadaza will open the door.
By the root! Biko, I like the flame traps. Draw the ooze over them. I've lit the trap. Drag the monster to it.
What in Stendar's name is that?
Drag it over here, Biko. Look, another ignites.
What's happening?
Deadly gas. It fills the Zanmir. Run, now, before you suffocate.
The door is open.
Damn,
Hurry.
Flag. I'm right behind you.
A chest! We should...
Leave it, Elf. You'll never get out in time!
Right, you're right. Run!
Do not worry. I have you. Perhaps you will not stop for useless relics next time, eh? I hope you see now. I do not exaggerate about the Zonmirs. Are you all right? You are not wheezing or leaking blood from your ears. That is something, at least. A fair question. In truth, I came to rescue Famia. I will admit a certain affection for her. She is kind-hearted and loyal, like a hedge gecko or one of your tiny bark dogs. I would not want her to come to harm. I'm glad to see you safe as well. Ha, no. Have a care with that crystal, Biko. If it is truly the Kajinjat, you should not let it jangle around in Famia's purse for long. I know that, if mishandled, it could lead to something very dangerous. So I would appreciate it if Famia stayed safe at home, for a time. It has been many long hours since my last sundoze, after all, and I try to limit my rescues to one per day.
That Zukas is always so polite. I don't know where I'd be without him. Despite the mishaps, we have the Kajinjat crystal, thanks in no small part to your contributions. Cause for at least modest celebration, right? No, of course not. Though some have gone worse. Anyway, we shouldn't dwell on the missteps and bungles. Need I remind you that we recovered the Kajinjat crystal? An item of immeasurable historical import. Yes, well, I had hoped to discuss that in private. Provided this little misadventure hasn't driven you from the business completely, I'd like to bring you on for another task. Let me settle up here, then I'll meet you in my office in Lomoth.
Farewell, everyone. Please, do not make me do this again.
Well, that was exciting, right?
I have never seen more spiders.
Are you joking? We nearly died.
Welcome, my friend, to exploring with Famia.
That's hardly fair. Our last expedition was...
Spike Pit.
Well, yes, but before that...
Angry Naga Heart Eaters.
Ah, but what about that trip north? That wasn't...
Many, many crocodiles.
Madus lost his hand to one. Remember Madus?
Zadaza mostly remembers his screams.
Yes, but need I remind you, we acquired the Kajinjat crystal?
Good for you. As for me, I'm out. This elf is sticking to woodland adventures from now on.
Smart. I'm sitting the next one out too. Here, elf. I'll walk you home.
Are you certain you're up to it?
Ale's cheap in Lilmoth, and there's not a beast alive that's going to stand between me and a tankard right now.
Fair enough. Just take it slow, all right?
A one-legged Imperial and a wood elf fresh out of the cradle go wandering into the swamp. What could go wrong?
the Nord offered me something called Giant's Toe Meat. It was
Though the
disgusting.
Saxhleel generally choose to live in tribes based around a history, Lilmoth is a merchant town with no true leadership.
You're here! Excellent! Welcome to the headquarters of Cyrodiilic Collections. Now, we have business to discuss, right? I hope our experience in the Zonmir hasn't put you off adventuring for good. Yes, we'll get to that. But first, payment for services rendered. You helped me recover the Kajinjat crystal and saved the entire expedition many times over. Without you, we'd certainly be dead. Please, take this payment with my compliments. Now then, are you ready to discuss my offer? I certainly hope so. I honestly don't know what I'll do if you turn me down. It's grave business, you know? I'm not trying to apply undue pressure or anything, but yes, serious business. It's my missing companions, Eshraf and Dainia, the explorers whose bags we found out in the marsh, remember? I told you I sent them to recover Baka stones, but that wasn't all they were looking for. They were looking for the remnant of Argon. A legend. Some say it's a massive gem, others a magical egg. Either way, I fear Eshraf and Dainia's disappearance is linked to their search. Zukas agreed to look into it, and it seems he's found something. Could you speak with him? Zukas' message said to meet him at the Tiba Enu field in Altan Mir Halil. Tiba Enu's a local sport. I have no idea how it's played. There's a ball involved, I know that. I'm babbling, sorry. I do this when I'm nervous. Please, be careful. Oh, certainly. Zukas enjoys friendly relationships with practically everyone, even the Nagas. Some of Lilmoth's investors see him as a bit of a swindler, but that's rooted in their ignorance of Argonian culture more than anything else. The Nagas are a breed of Argonians. I guess breed is the term. Sounds a bit offensive, doesn't it? Oh dear. Well, let's just say they're a different kind of Argonian. The Deadwater tribe is a Naga group, but tribeless Nagas wander all over Murkmire. Hostile? Well, I mean, they're certainly aggressive, but hostile has all kinds of connotations I'd rather avoid. What matters is they react with violence to practically any intrusion. For instance, they abducted me once about a year ago. Well, one of my expeditions took a brief detour into Deadwater territory. They took us as hostages almost immediately. I tried to impress upon them my deep love and admiration for Argonian culture. They broke my arm in 3 places, tied me to a raft, and sent me headfirst down Hukep Falls. Luckily, I'm a strong swimmer. I'm casting them in a very poor light. Honestly, if you can see past the idle cruelty, they're really quite pleasant. Honestly, Are you sure you want me to bring you into this? Eshraf and Dainia only knew its name, and now they've probably been kidnapped. Very well. As I said, no one really knows what the Remnant is, but it's just everywhere. Tree minders whisper about it when they think no one's listening. It's tucked away in poems and songs. It's always there, just below the surface. Like I said, people think it's just a legend, so they ignore it. But once serious scholars like us start asking questions, start making those first quiet discoveries, all the opportunists crawl out of their holes to take their nibbles. All the folktales imply that the Remnant shares a deep connection with the Hist, but the rest is pretty murky. Songs about the Remnant almost always end with a hero plucking it from the roots of a tree and ushering in a new golden age. Others... well, some of the songs end with an unworthy snake swallowing the Remnant and turning into a hideous giant that ravages the land for 100 seasons. So, keep an eye out for snakes.
All right, Chuksu. Good day, traveler. Is there something I can, help you with? Is it that obvious? Yes, I am. Well, no, not really. I've come to ask Sulakish, a former agent of the Shadow Scales, to help arbitrate a dispute. But speaking to an assassin, even a retired one, is a terrifying prospect, to say the least. Well, if you don't mind, to introduce the issue, if nothing else. The dispute is between Nurhe and Pahisa, who both claim rights to a nearby salt rice farm. They've already both agreed to accept Sulakish's decision. Thank you, Biko. You've at least given me time to work up some nerve. And please, be mindful to show Sulakish only respect. It would be best not to invoke her anger given her past affiliations. Both defendants claim inheritance of a salt rice farm previously owned by the now-deceased Kimaru. Nurhe, a local trader, claims the farm as collateral for debts owed. Pahesa, egg-sister to the deceased, claims it by familial association. The Saxleal of Murkmire don't exactly have laws as understood by outsiders. Small disputes are handled by an arbiter of both parties' choosing. This could be anyone, though it tends to be the tribe's tree minder. I worked for Kimaru for several years. As a neutral third party with an interest in the farm's well-being, I volunteered to arbitrate. Unfortunately, all attempts at negotiation have failed so far. I worked for Kimaru and her alone. While Pahesa was present, she did little to help the farm. I barely even spoke to her before this dispute. I just want the farm to be in good hands. Simply put, the Shadow Scales are an order of assassins that have been present in Blackmarsh since time immemorial. Among the Saxleal, they are both feared and respected. Sulakish is of an advanced age, which is a rarity within her order. The Shadow Scales serve Blackmarsh in many ways. Their role in our society is much more nuanced than mere killers. They help keep the natural order of things, as it were. Sulakish has simply decided to take a more direct approach to that role. I don't believe so. Their order may be secretive about their practices, but I doubt many are so open about their judgments. However, Sulakish has now granted Lilmoth her wisdom many times. She will see the right path. In this, I have faith.
No need to come any closer, stranger. I can hear you just fine from there. Yet you are not Chukzu. Lost his nerve, did he? He may have a way with words, but still lacks the will to speak them. A shame. I will help with this dispute, but need you to be my eyes. As you can plainly see, I lost my sight long ago. I need evidence if I'm to properly judge. Speak with the two claimants, Norhe and Pahesa. Seek their truths, yes, but also their lies. Both will help my decision. It also wouldn't hurt to check the farm itself. The midge lingers. Do you seek anything else? Naturally. Speak. We are ones born under the shadow, trained as assassins and given over to the Dark Brotherhood. Those of us fortunate to live long lives, however, must learn to serve Sithis in other ways. So I have become a Kuvaste, an agent of needed change. Many think of death as an end. This is only partially correct. Death is also a beginning, a cycle turned again. The Shadow Scales see this more clearly than most, and so we are tasked with sharing our wisdom with others. Sometimes, quite suddenly. Disputes stem from a refusal to accept change. This creates stagnation. A stuttering tongue cannot be trusted to say what must be said. Sometimes, the words can be coaxed into being. Other times, it must be cut from the mouth. Right to the point. Tell me, how old do you think I am? My, what a charming little liar you make. I'm much older than that, of course. When my eyes began to fail me, I knew my role was fated to change. I now honor Sithis through my guidance, rather than my blade.
What do you want? That sniveling little slug. Chuksu was supposed to handle this himself. Well, what more do you want to know? The farm was my egg sister's, so it belongs to me now. A fair claim by anyone's standards, I would think. No. But why would she need to? Of course she would want me to have the farm. All I want is to sell the damn place and move on with my life. Look, it's all I have left. That and Kimaru's gravestake by the docks. Her memorial, of course. When a Saxhleel dies, their lives are honored with the carvings on their gravestakes. If you're so curious about who my sister is, why don't you go look for yourself?
Your eyes are as lovely as muddy puddles, found deep within the swamp.
Oh, Galish, such things you say.
Your voice is more beautiful than the croaking of a bosa sato.
Oh, stop it. You're going to make me blush.
Together we would hatch many eggs so large and robust that all would be in awe.
Are you saying what I think you are?
Become my Uzith Biko, werewolf. The bonding ceremony awaits.
Of course. Oh, Galish, you've made me so happy.
It seems that Cyrodiilic Collection has just found something worthwhile. Their Khajiit lockpicker just bought a round of drinks at the tavern.
I heard. Seems they finally found their way into the Sonagiva Zanmir. Lucky them.
Sonagiva? Didn't that place just collapse? They're lucky they made it out alive.
A new hire saved them all from a certain death, or so I hear. It's about time Cassandra got someone competent on her payroll. Every time I go on an expedition, I always find plenty of angry natives, raging creatures, and deadly traps. But still, no treasure. My luck seems to be as rotten as a gas blossom.
Wait a minute. You're Cyrodiilic Collection's new hire, aren't you? I heard you sank Sonagiva. What a way to make your Lilmoth debut.
Did you bring more wine?